Do you like using an umbilical cord or, a house leash, a house line, I should say, because I know they're short, during those out of the pen times?
So I haven't typically recommended that. I don't see huge. For me, I would rather the puppy have some, again, kind of like freedom of movement and be able to play and choose where they go and choose what toys they have. And again, because I think that we should have eyes on them all the time, that it doesn't really matter if they're attached to you or not, because you'll still be able to. I think the reason for the umbilical cord method and the leash is to make sure that they, obviously aren't chewing on stuff and that they don't sneak off and go to the bathroom. So if we're observing, we don't need to do that. Now, if hypothetical situation, you just took the puppy out of the pen, you need to run to the front door to get a delivery or something like that, and you want to make sure they come with you, sure, you can gently take them by the leash or pick them up, whatever you want to do. But I don't think there's a need for that umbilical cord type protocol
Mhm.
frequently throughout the day. I'm curious your thoughts though.
Well, I mean, what I've seen, and my big disclaimer is I am not a certified dog trainer. So my wheelhouse is for sure puppies to 8 weeks of age. I could talk about that all day long, but I do see puppies go home. And though I will say, keep your eyes, don't take your eyes off of them,
Mm.
especially if there's a child. It's a tough thing to do because it's a split second. And so then, one thing I'm very aware of is puppies that develop resource guarding, and that
Mm-hmm.
can happen so quickly. And
Mm-hmm.
so I have always felt like that little lead, and I'm not talking a heavy 6 foot leash. I'm saying like maybe a 2 or 3 foot light lead. Then you can get some management of the puppy without grabbing at the puppy. And so that's why I have used them when we've raised puppies and found them useful in that way, where there's not as much pressure when I'm approaching a puppy because I'm able to get a hold of that line. That's just my
So
thinking.
I love that. I think and I'm totally with you on so I call that usually like a house lead. And yes,
Mhm.
they have these really nice ones that are really thin and the puppy doesn't even really notice it. And I love your kind of mentality of not putting pressure and constantly grabbing for the puppy, because you're totally right. It's really easy to fall into that trap of like always grabbing for them, always being really invasive and on top of them. And so yes, I do like house leads. I think for me, sometimes people can interpret the kind of like umbilical cord method as like your puppy is with you 100% of the time, like attached to you. And I think that runs the risk of maybe causing some frustration. Puppies aren't really great at walking on leashes to begin with. And then to expect them to like kind of, go around the house with you on leash, it sounds like for some puppies, a recipe for maybe some frustration and some like confinement related issues. So I
Mhm.
think, and this is with everything with puppies, where like we have these general guidelines, and then you want to think about you want to just get curious and mindful about how you apply it, how your puppy's responding to it, and if you're feeling like it's helping or hurting.
It's such a good point because you said at the beginning, about boundaries, and I thought, oh my gosh, all this time have I been saying, you really need to have good boundaries. Do
Mhm.
people hear me saying, is that a mental concept? Not an, I'm saying actually you need a physical and umbilical cord leash in my mind is just a little light lead.
Mhm.
Yet, so that's an important thing to define the terms. I'm just saying as a management tool. So I think we're saying the same
Totally.